Okay.
We are live with City Councilor at Large, the beautiful Ayanna Pressley. We're here in Mecca, aka Roxbury, and we are talking about why it's so important to vote. Why are we out here this evening rallying the vote? She has the A team out here. Look at those signs. We have people honking. You're gonna hear them. But why is it so important for people to vote, and why should I care about voting?
Listen, do you care about you? Do you love you? Do you respect you? You know, I get it. Some people think people don't vote because they're apathetic and they just don't know any better, but that's not true. A lot of people don't vote because there have been so many deficits of trust. Folks have been so disappointed that they just don't believe that government will do anything for them. But I can tell you, if that's your position, it doesn't get any better if you don't show up. Because voting is about leverage. Voting is about power. Voting is about resources. You know, my whole life, my mother planted that seed and role modeled for me why we had to show up. And she said, listen, we're going to hold government accountable. You know, but you make sure you know your rights and your responsibilities. You have the right to vote and exercise. That's a sacred right, right? But it's also your responsibility to be a partner with government. It's not just about what you lay at their feet and what you put on their shoulders. What are you going to do, you know, to improve your reality? So this is a part of that partnership. Civic engagement is not only about voting. That's just one part of it. You know, so I'm encouraging everybody tomorrow, please show up. If you have self-love, if you have self-respect, if you have love for community, show up and flex that muscle. Believe me, my mother and I, growing up, we had so many reasons to feel powerless, to feel invisible, to feel voiceless. But my mother made sure I knew on election day that we were powerful, and I believed that. I would go into that curtain with her. She would pull it, you know, she would pull that curtain, we would vote, and then we would come out, and I would stand just a little bit taller. You know, I felt like a boss. I was sort of building this muscle early, and I've still been flexing that muscle. I'm a proud super voter. You know, we talk about, you know, wanting to set an example for generational wealth and entrepreneurialism and academic excellence. How about a family tradition and a family legacy of super voting? That's powerful too. You know, so do it all. It's not public who you vote for, but it is public whether you vote or not. And I'm just going to ask our parents, how would you feel if your child knew that you didn't vote? That you didn't get up and raise your voice about what you want to see in government? How you're going to hold your government accountable? If you care about public education, if you care about public safety, if you care about gentrification and displacement, all these decisions are being made on the local level. And given what's happening in Washington, we're having to resist and progress at the same time. So local representation and leadership matters. So tomorrow, Tuesday, November 7th, you'll have the opportunity to vote for mayor, to vote for at-large Boston City Council, and to also to vote for district council. All those municipal offices will be on the ballot tomorrow. There are 13 Boston City Councilors. You have 9 district councilors. Some of you have contested races like D7, where we're standing right now. And then you have 4 councilors that represent the whole city. So I'm one of the councilors that represents the whole city. So I hope you'll consider me for one of your 4. But at the end of the day, so much bigger than me. You know, whatever you do, just show up. Vote for you. Vote out of respect and out of love for you and your community, so we can continue to build that power and that leverage and to raise our voices. And I guess the last thing that I would say is, I just want to give a shout out to all the candidates. You know, I know people were saying that recently that some of these fields of candidates were too big, and I just don't buy into any of that. You know what? I love that people are getting to see that in our community, we have a big and deep bench of diverse leaders. That in our community, innovation lives, and ingenuity, and the courage to run. So I just want to give a shout out to all the candidates that had the courage to run, to put their name on the ballot. You know, please show up tomorrow. Big shout out to folks that are part of a community-based Get Out the Vote effort. GLTV, Get Out the Vote, by New Democracy Coalition with Kevin Peterson in partnership with Daryl Suttles and millions of other people. I think it's millions, at least thousands, maybe hundreds, but enough people that have invested in this effort, along with MAMLEO, NAACP, Urban League of Eastern Massachusetts, and BEIJI, the Black Economic Justice Institute. They'll be at MAMLEO's headquarters all day tomorrow, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., trying to recruit 100 volunteers to knock on doors, to pull our vote out, and also to make phone calls. So if you want to know more about that, you can hit me in my DM on Twitter. I don't have the phone number immediately in front of me, or you can just show up at MAMLEO's headquarters. And the other thing is, because it's so important that we're engaged engaging young people in this process and introducing them to democracy, right? That if you're under the age of 25, you will get a stipend for the day. So if you can work 2-hour shifts anytime from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. and you're under the age of 25, you will be stipended. But we're trying to recruit, or they are rather, because it's a nonpartisan effort, 100 volunteers to knock doors and to make phone calls tomorrow so that we can mobilize our vote and flex our muscle. Ma'am Leo, thank you so much for your leadership, for providing a space for community to come together. You do that so very often. We appreciate you. We don't take that for granted, not 1 second. Come through tomorrow, people. Drop off food, drop off water, give love, show love to the volunteers, folks that care enough to organize, to mobilize in our community, and to make sure that our voices are heard. Again, tomorrow is Election Day, Tuesday, November 7th. Polls open at 7 a.m. and close at 8 p.m. So make sure you vote and then go and support the Get Out the Vote efforts at Ma'am Leo's offices, New Democracy Coalition, NAACP, Urban League of Eastern Massachusetts, Black Economic Justice Institute, anytime from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. tomorrow. We need you. I believe in the power of you. I believe in the power of us. I believe in the power of policy, which is why I've been working for 8 years to advance thoughtful policy, smart policy that will remain to build healthier communities and a more equitable Boston. I hope you'll consider me tomorrow for one of your 4 votes.